Radhe Krishna, Shri Gurubhyo Namaha, Srimate Ramanujaya Namaha. Welcome to Thirukkolur Penpillai Rahasyam episode number 47. Devotional service, that is, doing all the activities for the sake of the Lord, is the most effective form of devotion in the day-to-day world. Now, this concept we have been emphasizing throughout all our Bhakti Rahasyams, where the importance of doing our day-to-day activities, but with a focus on the Lord rather than our selfish motives, has been emphasized. This way, that is, doing our day-to-day activities with God as the central focus, diminishes the difference between spiritual world and the material world. Thereby, all the activities which we do for our day-to-day needs, they assume the character of spiritual activities. In our last 3 Bhakti Rahasyam episodes, we have been seeing various events, various great personalities from our epic Ramayana. Today's Bhakti Rahasyam is also going to be no different. We are going to see another personality from Ramayana. Now, let us go with the story flow, then we will see the Bhakti Rahasyam towards the end. If we recall in our last episode, where Bharat and the entire kingdom, they went into the forests to meet Lord Rama. There, Bharat encountered a person, a chief of a tribal group called Guha, who made boats and helped Bharat to cross the Ganges, where Rama was staying. Now we are going to talk about this very personality, Guha. Let us see who Guha was and what did he do for Thirukkolur Penpillai to compare herself against with. Now, Guha, as we saw, he was the chief of a tribe in a forest called Sringabheripura on the banks of river Ganges. Now, he was a very dear friend of Lord Rama, but it was not from the start. It was not that they were close friends right from the beginning, but there is some history to it. So it happens that when Lord Rama was the prince of Ayodhya, he used to go on hunting expeditions to this forest, Sringabheripura. There, so at that time, Guha did not know who Lord Rama was. So the group of tribes, when they saw Rama on the horse going for hunting, they went and instigated their chief, Guha, that here was a prince who was entering this forest territory, forest boundaries, but this prince had no courtesy to come and meet, to come and pay respects to Guha. So they kind of instigated him to confront this prince because his honor has not been protected. Now, Guha was puffed up by all these claims. He said he felt that being the chief of the group, he should have been respected. So he immediately goes in the direction where his tribes pointed out that where Lord Rama was. Now Guha is standing behind a tree, waiting to pick up a fight with Rama, and that's when he sees Rama coming on a horse from a distance. As Lord Rama comes closer, Guha is able to catch a closer glimpse. He is totally spellbound by the beauty of Lord Rama, the prince on the horseback. Immediately he gives up all his ideas of picking up a fight or confrontation. He surrenders to Lord Rama just by looking at him, one mere glance at the Lord, and he immediately becomes his devotee. But when Lord Rama meets and interacts with him, he regards Guha as one of his best friends. So from that day, the friendship between the Lord and Guha grows to such an extent that whenever the Lord comes on a hunting expedition to this forest, he always takes Guha along with him. So that's how this friendship blossomed. In fact, if the friendship of Krishna and Sudama is highly talked about, the friendship between Ram and Guha also stands at the same level. So now we fast forward to the current happenings in Ayodhya. That's when Lord Rama has now decided to go on a 14 years exile deep into the forests, and accompanying him are Sita Mata and Rama's brother Lakshmana. So they come to a point where they are on the shores of the river Ganges, and exactly it is the same place of Guha. Guha comes to know that the Lord is on a 14 years exile, and he rushes with his tribe to meet Ram, Sita and Lakshman. He bends forward to touch the Lord's feet, but the Lord has accepted him as his friend. Now, a friend is as good as a peer or an equal. So the Lord in his heart, he treats Guha as his own, as his equal. So he restricts him from touching the Lord's feet, but he hugs Guha. That's the sign of an indication of a true friendship. He gives a brief about whatever has happened in Ayodhya, and that he is now going deep into the forests. Guha says that even Sringabheripura is a forest, and whatever is his, that is Guha's, Rama has the first claim on it. So he offers his entire land and his resources to Rama very deeply, and says, "Oh Rama, anyway you have to go into forests. This is also a forest, so please accept this. You stay here, and we all are at your command." But Lord Rama, he knows the heart of his true devotee, of his true friend. He says he has no doubts on the intentions with which Guha is offering the forest. But since this forest, Sringabheripura, is just on the outskirts of Ayodhya, should Rama choose to stay in this forest, he would be constantly disturbed by the people of Ayodhya wanting to meet him, so they would be frequently visiting him. So that way, the purpose with which he set out on an exile would never fulfill. Moreover, there are a lot of other reasons for which this entire episode happened. Lord Rama going into an exile has many other motives for which the entire avatara of Ram, that is Ram Avatar, happened. So he says he thanks Guha from the bottom of his heart for his offering. He says he accepts the offering, but he needs to get on. But the Lord promises that he would stay that night in Guha's forest, and the next day he would proceed further. So Guha he understands the Lord's thoughts, and he makes all the arrangements for that night so that Ram, Sita and Lakshman are comfortable. He brings a variety of fruits for their food. He gives them water to drink. Then he also goes forward to make some lavish arrangements for their sleep. But Ram says that since he is going to lead a hermit's life, he would want to sleep on just bare ground. This is too much for Guha to bear, because Lord Ram as a prince, Sita Mata as a princess, they have been used to the luxuries of the royal, of the palace life. And here they are, ignoring all of that, ignoring all the comforts, ignoring all the luxuries they were used to. And they were just like the tribes. They wanted to lead that life. Guha couldn't say more, but at least he made a bed of grass for the three to sleep. So Lord Rama and Sita slept on the grass bed on the ground below a tree, and Lakshman was there standing for their protection. Now Guha requested Lakshman also to take some rest, saying that that is Guha, would take upon that duty of guarding the three at the night time. But Lakshman had taken a vow. If we recall 2 Rahasyams before, we spoke about the selfless service of Lakshman. He was there for the entire 14 years, not sleeping a wink. He was always there protecting, guarding Rama and Sita. So he said that to Guha, that it was not for him to sleep, but he was there to guard them all the night. So Guha, again, he couldn't say anything more. Guha and Lakshmana, they both guarded Rama and Sita that night in the forests. The next day, when the Lord gets up, he says now he has to proceed further, but to proceed further he has to cross the Ganges. He requests Guha to help him go to the other shore, cross the shore. Guha very happily starts making a big boat, especially for this occasion. He makes a beautiful boat, decorates it. He invites Ram, Sita and Lakshman to sit on the boat, and singing all his tribal songs, he helps the Lord to cross the mighty Ganges and leaves them on the other shores. So the experience of great devotees is for all normal human beings like us. We have to depend, we have to rely on the Lord to cross this ocean of samsara or material world. And here it was Guha who was helping the Lord to cross the mighty Ganges, to cross the river. Thus he was a great devotee. And this is what captures the attention of Thirukkolur Penpillai. She says in her Bhakti Rahasyam, did I help the Lord to cross the shores like Guha? Guha was such a great devotee, he was such a dear friend of the Lord, and just after that incident of confronting with the Lord, thinking of confronting with the Lord and the Lord accepting him as his dear friend, for Guha it was only Lord Rama in his mind and heart. And he had cultivated such a beautiful devotion to the Lord, to his friend, that today he was in a position to do such a great service for the Lord. The night before, he had made all the arrangements for the Lord. The next day, he made a boat and helped the Lord to cross the river, and thereby the Lord was then able to proceed further. Not only this, subsequently, that is what was there in our last Bhakti Rahasyam, when Bharata and the people in his kingdom come to that point where they have to cross the Ganges, again it's Guha at their service, where he helps them, the entire big group, to cross the river. So this way, Guha has done a great service, A, to the Lord himself, B, to the devotees of Lord. So what more can Guha expect in his life, where he has served the Lord, where he has served the devotees? His life was filled with bliss. So that was the benchmark for Thirukkolur Penpillai, that he had such a burning devotion for the Lord and his devotees. So the devotional service with which we introduced this Rahasyam, Guha was a living example of devotional service. And this devotional service made Guha a revered personality in the epic of Ramayana. So we also have a lot of things to learn from Guha to carry on with our duties with sincerity, pure devotion, without selfish motives covering those activities. So that was all from our current Bhakti Rahasyam. Stay devoted, stay blessed, and stay tuned for our next Bhakti Rahasyam. Radhe Krishna, Shri Gurubhyo Namaha, Shrimate Ramanujaya Namaha.